How we doing?
Doing great. So, the NBA 2K22 debate ratings just came out. Did you see those?
I got a 100.
I was a 99,
100.
and you were a 92.
Not a 100.
So good luck today.
Nope.
It's okay.
Nope.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm impressed you even showed up.
100.
Yeah.
100?
Yep.
All right, we'll see after today, right? How about that? Speaking of the NBA and speaking of interviews, we got to talk about this, guys. Kevin Durant and Draymond Green sat down for an interview this week on Bleacher Report, and the two players spoke candidly about how their infamous on-court argument led KD to leave Golden State following the 2019 finals. Take a listen.
It wasn't the argument, it was the way that everybody, Steve Kerr act like it didn't happen, Bob Myers and tried to just discipline you and think that would put the mask over everything. I really felt like that was such a big situation for us as a group.
Y'all about to this up. I said the only person that can make this right is me and Kay. And there's nothing that y'all can do, and y'all are going to this up. And in my opinion, they it up.
I think so too.
Ooh, Shannon, are you buying this was management's fault?
No, I'm not buying it, Skip. Because what they're doing is that they're focusing on the handling of it and not focusing on the incident and what got them to the point. I don't get what was going to change? Skip, I believe had KD been healthy, they still would have won the title. So it wasn't like this incident caused them not to win the title, or it drove a wedge between them that it became intolerable, an untenable situation.
Yep.
That's not what happened. Whatever happened to personal responsibility, personal accountability? Draymond, you said something that you shouldn't have said. Okay, I get it. You want to go apologize to KD? What Bob Myers and Steve Kerr tried to do is to let KD know we got your back. That we're not going to just let this slide up under the rug because Draymond has been here. He's one of the staples of this organization. But we're not going to let this slide. We are going to punish him. They mentioned the incident, Skip, if I'm not mistaken, they said when Scottie Pippen wouldn't go in the game, KD said when Scottie wouldn't go in the game, everybody came. So what?
In the locker room.
In the locker room, I have to say, Scottie, that was effed up.
Yeah,
that was
right,
messed up.
yeah.
Okay, so if Steph and Clay and everybody comes and say, Draymond, you should have done that. What does Bob Myers and Steve Kerr have to do with that? Phil didn't say anything. When Jordan hit Steve Kerr in the eye, they didn't address it as a team. Jordan called Steve and said, Steve, my bad.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I let my emotions get the best of me, bro. And guess what? In a championship moment, he passed the ball to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr hit the shot. So I'm trying to skip, and I went back and listened to it again. I believe at the start of the season, Kevin Durant had made his mind up, 99%, I'm leaving. I believe the 0.5 or the 1% that was left solidified it. But it seemed to me, and listen to KD talk, KD's like, well, I needed a new challenge. I needed to move on. I don't believe had Bob Myers and Steve Kerr addressed this as a team, say, guys, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this in front of the team. Me, I started playing organized sports, Skip, in 1977 and played until 2003. And you know there's a lot of testosterone that goes in the locker room. I've seen a lot of fights, high school, college, and the pros. I don't recall us ever addressing a fight as a team. I don't remember now. It could have slipped my memory. Guys, whomever the fight's between, bro, how we make this, because, we got to move forward. I just don't understand how they think Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. So what was it going to change? If they address it as a team, is KD staying? If they address it as a team, are they going to win the title? You didn't win the title because KD got hurt. That argument didn't have anything with you not winning the title, Skip. It did not drive a wedge. I'm glad to see, Skip, it seems to me, they put this behind them. Sometimes things like this happen, and it's never, ever the same.
You got that right.
So for them to move past a special inocument, sometimes we hold on to things.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer, Skip, you can let things come between. They seem to be with friends before. And don't let an incident like this drive a wedge between you, that you were great friends and somebody in the heat of a moment says something. But I'm going to disagree in this situation. I do not believe the handling of this caused anything. KD wasn't going to stay if they had handled it better, because the incident happened. That's on Draymond. You let your emotions get the best of you because KD was clapping about passing the ball, and you was like, bro, I done bought the ball up in championship games before. This is a regular season game. I'm going to give you the ball. Just get your ass up the court. And KD, like, okay, bro, that's how you feel about me? But Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, there was nothing they could have done that was going to change the outcome. He was leaving after the season, with or without addressing this as a team.
Okay. I hear everything you just said. I agree with every point you just made, and now I'm going to amplify because I agree times 100. I begin with the scene from one of my favorite all-time movies, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, in which Catherine Hahn's character stops and takes a look at Ron and the guys and says, children, grow up. This, for me, was a children grow up moment because it was fascinating to me that all of a sudden we had two guys who for a while wanted to kill each other face to face on Draymond's new show. And to Draymond's credit, he broached the toughest subject possible, the most awkward subject of all, face to face without a moderator.
Right.
There's no Jenny there.
Right.
There's nobody to referee.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's one-on-one, face-to-face, and he broaches the subject.
Right.
Was that a reason? The idea was, did that hasten your exit from Golden State?
Correct.
What happened between us? And Kevin is on a hot seat because the truth is it was a reason that hastened his exit.
Right.
And he did not refute that point.
Right.
But all of a sudden, his mind is working quickly. How can we get out of this? Because I've reunited with my bro here. You know, we're now besties,
we good,
right? I don't know how they got through it, but they did.
Right.
And he's thinking, how can we do this? And all of a sudden, they blame the adults. They blame the coach. They blame the general manager. That's how we can get out from under this. Let's both blame the adults.
Right.
And it was childish to me because they talked all around the point. Because the point was, just to reiterate what you talked about, this was a regular season game at Clippers.
Yes.
And Kevin is, as you said, he just wants the ball. After Draymond gets the rebound, he's clapping because he's got a hot hand.
Right.
And he wants to take the ball because he's got to play. He has a play that he wants to run. And Draymond gives him one of these like, who the hell are you?
Right.
Well, you pointed out originally Draymond was the guy who, after your Cavaliers came from 3-1 down to beat them, fled into the parking lot with tears in his eyes and picked up his cell phone and called one Kevin Durant, you've got to come save us.
Correct.
Right? So that situation escalates until the two of them are sitting next to each other on the bench. One thing leads to another, and Draymond Green calls Kevin Durant the B word.
Right.
The B word. He once upon a time called LeBron the B word in the heat of battle out on the court.
Correct.
But this is sitting on the bench.
Right. At least, Skip, LeBron is an opponent.
He's an opponent. It's really heat of battle. Like this is happening out. And remember, then they got into it, and Draymond sort of kicked him in the groin. It was completely over the edge, out of control.
KD and Dre is teammates.
They're teammates, and they're sitting next to each other on the bench. And he says, you know what? You're a B.
Always have been.
Always have been. Okay, just in my world, given my temperament, that's a bridge burned for me. I don't think I could ever come back from that. I mean, maybe if somebody came to me and we sat and talked it all through, but even then, I would never trust that person again because it's hard for me to trust. I don't trust easily or quickly.
But you're not going to blame. You're not going to blame the company that you work for their handling.
I will not.
The company didn't say it. He said it.
He did it. He started it, and he would not apologize for it because Draymond was adamant about. They flew back and took him to the facility and sat him down, and I assume it was Steve Kerr and Bob Myers, maybe other staffers joined in.
Probably somebody from HR, I guess. Because he was saying something about Hazel. Hazel, I mean, I don't think that's his fiancée. I think it's his wife now. I don't think she was waiting for an hour and a half. He said they was waiting for like an hour and a half.
In the parking lot, I assume, to take him home.
Right, so I guess...
I don't know, but they were encouraging him to apologize face-to-face to Kevin, and he said, no way. Okay, go home and sleep on it, and let's reconvene in the morning and try it again. And they tried it again in the morning, and he said, absolutely no way am I going to apologize. Well, he's telling this story to the guy he offended, sitting face-to-face with him on his new show. Well, deep down, you think Kevin loved that? Because Kevin can't love that. You wouldn't even acknowledge that you did this.
That you were wrong.
Right. You wouldn't even talk it out with me.
Right.
Well, that's Draymond's fault.
Right.
And Draymond's at the controls on his new show, and somehow they managed to blame the adults. They blame Steve Kerr. And even Kevin just goes off on Steve Kerr, and then, to your point, he references The Last Dance. I remember watching The Last Dance when Scottie didn't go into the game, and the whole team in the locker room said, Scottie, that was effed up that you didn't do that. We needed that. We just needed to throw all that SH out on the table.